Hello, my name is Owen Bunch, and I am doing my Portfolio 2 project. We were given a empty tile game and told to make a new mechanic for it. So, when I was thinking of a tile-based game mechanic, I started thinking of the classic tile games of Pac-Man, and what I thought of after just normal Pac-Man was how the Super Pill made Pac-Man be able to do different abilities than he was prior, and it changed how the world looked. So, when you gain the super pill, the ghosts turn blue. It's like the dark blue, and you're now able to interact with them when you weren't previously. And towards the end, the ghosts start flashing. Now, that's exactly where I drew parts of my inspiration, where the ghost colors change, and you are now able to interact with their other parts, and then the color flashing. Then I thought of my another game I play a lot, which is Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, where there is the Taken world and effects that has. So when you're battling Taken King, there is a separate world when you are doing his final boss in the raid, where you get this buff and you're now able to jump on platforms, and the world changes to be more white than it was prior. And that's kind of where I drew an idea for my mechanic, where it is a inverse of the world. That's where the name of the game comes for my mechanic, where you step on the activator tile here, and the world will invert. And I'll show it now. You step on it, and all the colors change. So as you saw, the pits that is right here, if I jump on it, character dies. And now when I step on it, now it will step in that area. It becomes yellow, which is the opposite of this blue here, which is now safe again. The red becomes a blue, and the rainbow activator tiles switch to be a different rainbow order. So if I step on it, the blues go where the reds are, and vice versa. And then the timer starts beeping to tell you that you are running out. And as you see, the black area turns into white, so everything switches on the color spectrum. So that is the mechanic. That's all the floors swap in terms of the blue inverting floors, and the black pits become where those inverting squares are. The lights flash like in Pac-Man, informing you that the ghosts are about to become active again, and this tells you that the floor is about to switch again. So you get the final buff in there. So to accomplish this, I have the post-processing texture. So we start off with the post-processing texture to get the inverting colors. So masking it to only be RGB and not to be how much transparent it is. Then inverting it, so 1 minus x to get the opposite of it. Multiplying it with some slight color to change it so it's more noticeable. And previously I had a multiplier on it to make it pop a bit more, but I felt it was a bit too bright, so I removed the multiplier but kept it there in case other people would like to have it be a bit brighter. Then we move on to the tile activators, which are the rainbow tiles. So once it is entered, check to see if there's any other currently activated of the tiles. Let's get actors of all class of the activators, and checking each of them to see if it is the inverse on is currently on, the boolean. So it's true, it kicks back out that it's either is activated, but if it's not true, then it sets it as true and continues on the line, so that it is now declaring that it is true, so no other tiles can be activated because it's already on. So then we change the floor, start by getting the entire tile map and getting the array of the tiles, and checking to see if it is select tiles. So right now we are inverting the tiles, the inverting tiles to become pits. So we make sure it is equal to the tile inverse. If it is equal to the tile inverse, then we make it a tile pit, replace it, and move on. Then we come back down here Do the same, but now we are making pits into inverting tiles. Change that previous build, but it must have swapped back. But it will go through, changing it. Seats of pits, switching it. Previously, I had it that it was only working with a tile inverse and the normal pit, but it's having my first bug, which was activating the tile, caused the pits to flip, and then it would swap it again because they're happening one after the other. So it turned all other tiles into pits, and then turning all the pits into tiles and making everything walkable, which was not the goal. So once all the floors change, set the post-processing to fully on. It starts as off at 0. Now it's fully on. Adds the ticking effect, which I found online, and then the color flashing, which starts off with a timer of 2.2, and the full delay lasts for 3 seconds. And the very close to the end, it turns off the color change, turns it back on, off and on, till the end in a 0.2 second interval to show that it is changing. And then we continue on, and reverts the floor, and which is assuming the opposite of change floor. So it is making the inverted tiles back into pits, and pits back into inverting. So I had it correct in here, but not in the change floor. Then I set the post-processing back to 0 and inverse off because it is now back to default. So yeah, that is the mechanic and that is the level. I think it's pretty creative and interesting level design of being able to work around those kind of problems. There is one or two current bugs where if you are stepping on a tile as it's swapping, you'll get sent back to here and you won't be able to move anymore. And occasionally when it switches while you're standing on here, you'll fall through the ground and then not respawn. But that's only happened a few times and it's difficult to get it to repeat. Sometimes it won't work and sometimes it will work. But yes, thank you for watching and listening. Once again, my name is Owen Bunch.